Hello students, welcome to online classes. I am Bhavani, Department of Commerce and Management. Today we are going to handle the topic auditing for 3rd BCom 6th semester students. Before going to the class, first we will get a brief idea about our syllabus covered in this semester. Unit 1, Auditing. Introduction, meaning of auditing, objectives of auditing, importance of auditing, auditing as visual mechanism, role of auditor in checking corporate frauds. These are the topics covered in this unit. Unit 2, Types of Audit. In this unit, we covered types of audit based on ownership and time, independent audit, financial audit, internal audit, cost audit, tax audit, government audit, and secretarial audit. Unit 3, Planning of Audit. In this unit, we covered planning of audit, steps to be taken at the commencement of new audit, audit program, audit notebook, internal audit, internal control. Unit 4, Watching and Investigation. In this unit, we cover watching of cash trading transactions, investigations, and audit versus investigation. Unit 5, Company Audit and Auditor's Report. In this unit, we covered introduction, auditor's qualifications, appointment of auditor, reappointment of auditor, rights of auditor, duties of auditor, liabilities of auditor, disqualifications of auditor, audit report, contents of audit report, preparation of audit report, and relevant provisions of Companies Act 2013. This is about our syllabus. Unit 1, Auditing. The word audit is derived from Latin word audere, which means to hear. That is, in ancient times, whenever frauds are suspected, proprietors of the business used to appoint some experienced and impartial persons to check the correctness of the accounts. The experts were appointed used to hear from the bookkeepers all the accounts relating to the business and give their opinion about the correctness of the entries made in the books of account. The hearing from the bookkeepers about the accounts relating to the business came to be known as audit, and the persons who heard from the bookkeepers came to be known as auditors. In 18th century, with the growth of the joint stock companies, ownership was separated from management. So the shareholders who were the owners needed a report from an independent expert on the accounts of the company managed by the board of directors. Therefore, the objective auditing includes not only the investigation of cash but also to report the true financial position of an undertaking as disclosed by the balance sheet and profit and loss account to the shareholders. Meaning of auditing. In simple words, auditing means detailed examination of books of accounts of an organization for a given period by an independent and qualified person who, with the help of watches, documents and information given, reports whether the profit or loss account shows real profit or loss position and the balance sheet exhibits a true and fair state of affairs of the business or not. In other words, auditing is concerned with verification of accounting and financial records with view to determine their accuracy and reliability. Basic principles of audit. First one, principle of honesty. Second one, principle of planning. Principle of impartiality, principle of secrecy, principles of evidence, principle of consistency, principle of legal framework, principle of working paper presentation, principle of internal control, and principle of report. First one, principle of honesty. Honesty and sincerity is the important principles of auditing. The loyalty of auditor to work and profession must be beyond the doubts. Next one, principle of planning. It is the basic principle of auditing. The auditor should plan before starting the work. In planning, auditor decides accounting about the system and internal control procedures. Next one, principle of impartiality. In case of audit, the attitude of the auditor must be impartial. Keeping in view this principle, his personal views may not be included in audit report. Next one, principle of secrecy. Principle of secrecy must be maintained by the auditor during the process of audit. He cannot disclose any information to the third party. He has to maintain secrecy about details of the client. Next one, principles of evidence. Principle of evidence. During the audit, the auditor can collect the evidence through the working papers. He can frame his opinion on the audit evidence. The nature and source of evidence must be kept in view by the auditor. Next one, principle of consistency. It is an important principle of auditing. In case of selecting the rates of depreciation and valuation of stock, the accountant must follow the rates of the coming years. In this regard, there should be a consistency and changes are not acceptable. Next one, principle of legal framework. The business activities may run within the rules and legal formalities. To protect the rights of the interested parties, rules must be applied. Next one, principle of working paper preparation. The auditor collects documents providing evidence that audit was carried out according to the principles. The auditor prepares the working papers and kept in this custody as a proof. Next one, principle of internal control. Auditor will examine the accounting system and intercontrol. To frame his opinion, he keeps in view the evidence obtained from the books. And last one, principle of report. According to this principle, auditing is a report will be prepared by the auditor at the end. It may be conditional or unconditional. Auditor can draw conclusion and disclose the facts and figures about the business for general information. Next one is objectives of auditing. The objectives of auditing has changed over the years with the changes in the size and complexities of the business transactions and the nature and scope of audit. Today the objectives of an audit can be broadly classified into two categories. First one, primary or main objectives, and second one, subsidiary or auxiliary objectives. Again, subsidiary objectives are subdivided into detection and prevention of errors and detection and prevention of frauds. First one, primary or main objectives. The main objective of audit today is to report to the owners of the business whether the balance sheet exhibits a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company as at the end of the financial period, and the profit and loss account exhibits a true and fair view of the profit or loss for the financial period. Second one, subsidiary or auxiliary objectives. The subsidiary objectives of audit are detection and prevention of errors and detection and prevention of frauds. Detection and prevention of errors, meaning of errors. Errors refers to unintentional misstatements or misdescriptions made in the books of accounts by the account assistants. Types of errors. Errors in accounting may be classified into two broad categories. They are technical errors or clerical errors. And second one is errors of principle. Again, technical errors or clerical errors are subdivided into three types. First one, errors of omission, error of commission, and compensating errors. Error of omission. An error of omission is one which arises when a transaction has been omitted to be recorded in the books of accounts either wholly or partially. For example, if a transaction is completely omitted to the recorded in subsidiary book, it is an error of complete omission. An error of complete omission does not affect the agreement of the trial balance, as both the aspects of the transactions are omitted from the trial balance. Therefore, such errors cannot be detected easily. On the other hand, if only one of the items or aspects of transactions recorded in a subsidiary book is omitted to be posted from the subsidiary book to the ledger account, the error is an error of partial omission. An error of partial omission affects the agreement of the trial balance. Therefore, such errors can be detected easily. Next one, error of commission. When incorrect entries are made in the books of accounts, either wholly or partially, the errors are known as error of commission. For example, the amount of 232 might be entered as 322 in the books of original entry. Such errors can be located while watching the purchases with the original invoices. Next one, compensating errors. When the effect of an error is counterbalanced, set off, or compensated by another error, the errors are known as compensating errors or offsetting errors. For example, if salary account is undercast by 200 rupees and wages account is overcasted by 200 rupees, the error in salaries account is set off by the error in wages account. Such errors can be detected only by thorough checking of different subsidiary books and ledger accounts. Next one is error of principal. If a transaction is recorded in the books of accounts against the generally accepted accounting principles of accountancy, the errors are known as error of principal. These errors are not disclosed by the disagreement of trial balance. They cannot be detected by routine checking. Only a detailed and in-situ checking will reveal these errors. For example, error of principal. Capital expenditure is recorded as a revenue expenditure. Incorrect provision for doubtful debts and incorrect provision for discount on debtors, etc. Detection and prevention of frauds. Meaning of fraud. Fraud refers to intentional misstatements or misdescriptions made in the books of accounts by the account assistants with a view to deceive or cheat somebody. Types of frauds: misappropriation and fraudulent manipulation of accounts. First one, misappropriation. Misappropriation refers to dishonest use of another's funds or property for one's own use. Misappropriation may be subdivided into two types. First one, misappropriation of cash, and second one, misappropriation of goods. Misappropriation of cash. Misappropriation of cash means the fraudulent appropriation of cash belonging to another person by one to whom it has been entrusted or by one who handles it. Different ways of misappropriating the cash is suppression or non-disclosure of cash receipts, and inflating the payments or showing false cash payments. First one, suppression or non-disclosure of cash receipt means recording the cash sales proceeds at a figure lower than the actual cash sales proceeds, omitting the record the credit sales and teaming and leading, etc. Next one, inflating the payments or showing false cash payments. Recording fictitious or false cash purchases and pocketing the amount, inflating the cash purchases, that is at a figure higher than the actual amount, and pocketing the difference, etc., are the few examples of inflating the payments. In order to discover such fraud, the auditor should check the cash book with the counterfoils of the receipt books, vouchers, wage sheets, salary book, and invoices. Next one, misappropriation of goods. It means the wrongful conversion or fraudulent application of goods by those who handle them. Different ways of misappropriating the goods: recording sales of larger quantities than actually supplied and misappropriating the balance quantity; recording purchase of large quantities, getting delivery of lesser quantities, and receiving the balance quantity privately. This type of fraud is very difficult to detect, especially when the goods are less bulky and are of a higher value. Proper methods of keeping accounts with regard to purchases and sales. Periodical checking of stocks will help to detect such frauds. Next one, fraudulent manipulation of accounts. It is said to be committed when a person makes a false entry in the business records or alters, erases, removes, or destroys a true entry in the business records. Reasons for the manipulation of accounts are: it is committed or caused by persons holding high positions in the business, such as managers, directors, or other responsible persons. And second one, it is done to be overstate the profits or understate the profit and the financial condition of the business so as to serve their ends. For instance, understatement of profits may be made to avoid tax liability, to deceive the competitors by creating wrong impression in their minds about the success of the business, to induce a fall in the prices of the shares with a view to buy them in bulk at lower prices, to withhold the declaration of dividends, or to declare a lower rate of dividend. On the other hand, overstatement of profits may be done to earn more commission. If the commission is based on profits, to get better credit terms from the creditors and the banks, to win the confidence of the shareholders by claiming that the higher profits are the result of the efficiency of the management, etc. Different ways of manipulation of accounts are: non-provision of depreciation on fixed assets, provision of less depreciation on fixed assets, provision of more depreciation on fixed assets, overvaluation of assets, undervaluation of assets, window dressing, creation of secret reserves. Here, window dressing means it is the way of presenting the financial data in a much better position than the original position. Some of the reasons for doing window dressings are: to win the confidence of shareholders, to obtain further credit, to raise the price of shares in the market by paying higher dividend so that shares held may be sold, and to attract prospective partners or shareholders. Secret reserves means, as per the provisions of Companies Act, all the companies cannot create secret reserves. Only banking companies, insurance companies, etc., permitted to create secret reserves. Other companies can create secret reserves only after getting the prior permission of the central government. Secret reserve is a reserve that existence of which is not disclosed in the balance sheet. So what is the advantages of secret reserve means, it helps to meet losses without disclosing the fact to the shareholders. It helps management to see that the whole of the profits is not distributed as dividends to the shareholders. At the same time, there is an disadvantages also for the secret reserves. When secret reserves are created, the profit or loss account does not give the correct profits or losses of the concern. If secret reserves are created by writing down an asset, the company cannot claim correct compensation from the insurance company in case the asset is destroyed by fire. So, creation of secret reserves increases the working capital and strengthens the financial position of the company. Directors may misuse the funds by creating such reserves. Um, Prevention of errors and frauds. An auditor does not play a direct role in the prevention of errors and frauds. He can only indirectly help in its prevention by advising the management. Again, his, ve- his very audit examination will have a moral check on the staff, and this fear would reduce the scope for committing errors and frauds. Auditing begins where accountancy ends. Thank you.